That's kind of what I heard as well. Either way, that's it from the desk here. We are looking for a clean sweep for the Boston Uprising, but it needs to be a dominant one. This one needs to be a statement. Let's hear it from our casters, Jaws and Costa, what they think about this upcoming banger match.
Johnny has no chill. Johnny has no chill, just throwing Malfa under the bus. Yes.
What?
Yeah.
What? They should upgrade his internet speed connection.
Upgrade. Oh, okay.
Come on, now.
Randomly disconnect Malthal from the game.
Wow, Johnny.
Johnny, you've changed, bro.
He took a weekend off and he came out. He came back with violence.
Yeah. What happened during that week? We were kind of chilling. We were vibing, hanging out, being cool dudes on the deck.
I'm just saying, 2023. Fiber is very common. Get Malthus some fiber.
Get some fiber in his diet too. Fiber is important in your diet. Don't forget. That's facts. That's definitely what Johnny was talking about. But here we go, Scots. Yeah, we're jumping in the first game of the week. Great stuff. Vegas Eternal and the Boston Uprising. The desk, they all played at 3-0. If I had to give you a chance to also give your Fred.
Yeah, no, I'm going 3-0.
Okay.
You know, I agree with Zoe.
Okay.
The Boston boomage has been, talked about so much throughout this season, but sources are starting to look more and more likely like I made it up, and it's just consistent. No one has really seen anything. It is worth talking about, though. Boston Uprising are coming off of a 3-0 loss to the Vancouver Titans, and a lot of people were questioning how is this going to affect the team? Obviously, Lee Jae-gon looked a little disappointed in the player cams after that one, but Danny cleared that one up with an interview last weekend. So Boston are a strong team. Just by pure talent on their roster, we know how great of a team they are, and the Vegas Eternals shouldn't be able to hold a candle to that.
I'm a Boston boy this season.
You're always a Boston boy, mate.
Hey, really? Oh, to be fair, Boston in the history of the team, they've had some very likable players, so you know what, I'm down. Are we ready for Vegas Eternal versus the Boston Uprising? If it's not a 3-0, honestly, egg on faces for everybody.
Yeah.
We'll get production to run out and quickly grab some eggs, and we'll do that live. There you go. There's the thing that will definitely happen after this game.
There is a point to be made by what Jake said before this match as well. If you are the Boston Uprising, you have complete faith in yourselves to win this 3-0. If you lose a map, dude, it can start snowballing away from you, but they have to lose a map first.
How many teams have we said that about, to be fair, Scott, over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're in a crazy year right now, it feels like, where we're expecting a lot of teams to just smash as they jump into the server, and they just end up flatlining, which is insane. All right, let's get in, though. Smurf Doomfist, very dive-heavy, with Birdring on the Sombra versus a very slow comp. What we kind of expect the Vegas Eternals to be running with the Mei and the Ram.
It's just an easier composition to play this Ramattra, while the Doomfist can be quite difficult. You have to execute strong dives, you need to make sure that you're not getting isolated. And you also don't want to give away the point, but this is the important crux of this composition. Birdring getting hacks and then having his team follow up. The follow-up's not there, and Vegas Eternal have the first cap.
Twilight doing damage as well as some healing. Vegas do end up getting the first cap. You're not wrong, Scott. Someone's got to look at Twilight. He do be on an island on his own. No running towards him by Eternal. They're just going to let him get damage out scot-free. However, still building up time. Very slow pace comp Eternal are playing this, even with a Lucio. Although there's the hack from Birdring and a nice follow-up from Smurfs. They take down Lucamino. They do trade Birdring's life for it, though, but it's a worthy trade. Now you only have Lucio healing if you're the Eternal. Decay on the point. Yeah, he's looking...
sleeping.
Dude, he's sleeping on the job. Decay, wake up. Please, you've got a pulse.
Drop the pulse, you got this.
Drop the pulse. Dude is so bored right now. Nice beat, though, from Eternals. They do hold the point still. Scott, someone take his player cam off, please. I'm dying. Dover does end up going down, but a very slow burn right now for the Uprising. They're unable to really clean the Eternal up. They're getting pigs, yes, but that's really about it. Smurf is awake, though. All good. Uprising do eventually find the wipe, but it is 53% for Eternal.
And you very rarely expect Boston to win the first team fight playing this dive composition, but this is where it will start snowballing away for the Eternal. Birdring has the EMP, and you're actually going to see the change from Luke Mina going over to the Kiriko, potentially more survivable than a Baptiste to the Sombra.
Yeah, that's Suzu as well. As soon as you get, well, hopefully you don't get hacked, to be fair, but if you do get hacked, an instant Suzu could save a life or two. Here's Birdring, though, setting up for an EMP. Looks like Eternal just funneling in. EMP hits 3, Rack Attack and Lucamino in big trouble. But there you go, hack wears off, instant Suzu, but not before the damage can come in. I mean, with the Rack Attack not there to kind of amp healing on top of Lucamino, Suzu, and extra heals coming out, there's not really much you can do to survive that EMP. and Boston Uprising, they have both support ultimates left in their bank too, so they've got a lot of tools to deal with Vulcan's ult hit.
Yeah, very clean ultimate and EMP there from Birdring. You need to win those nice and easy and clean, especially because Rack Attack did not have the sound barrier to answer. So now it all comes down to cycling ultimates here for the Boston Uprising. They have the nano boost. Which target are they going to put it on? Doomfist with the nano isn't a great option. They are going to go with that one though.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets a Mega Punch off, it could be good, but there's the sleep from Twilight. Perfect stuff. Vulcan even an itch on the nose because he hasn't got much to do for the next 3.5 seconds. Lijigon, though, without beats, Uprising might be in a little bit of trouble here. Smurf using all of his cooldowns. The block already used. He had that empowered punch, but didn't manage to secure the kill on Rack Attack. Even that ultimate coming back in. Didn't receive the sound barrier, though, as Birdring does end up going down. Nice re-engage there from Smurf. Despite not having that over health, is going to insert himself into the back line of Vegas Eternal. A nice sound barrier from Rack Attack stops Dub from instantly getting deleted as they do end up finding the flip.
Yeah, they do get the flip, and Decay goes down late in this one. Should force the Uprising to retreat. You could see they were trying to get a win, and this is the weakness of the Doomfist. He's being disruptive, but unable to find any actual executions and isolate a singular target. Birdring is coming up to another EMP though, and that was so impactful in the first time. But Luke Mino, with Kitsune Rush, he needs to stay alive.
Oh my god. Twilight healing there, kind of goated, keeping Lijigon alive. Rush, though, is going to split up the Uprising right now, and you can see Twilight just picked out of thin air. Lijigon unable to taxi him back to the rest of the team, as Eternal now setting themselves up for a win.
Yeah, but Eternal don't have any ultimates left to deal with any of the problems that the Boston Uprising are going to show at them. Dove switches over to the Tracer, just deciding, yeah, he needs to get back into this team fight. Who is Birdring going to try and find for this EMP?
Twilight is kind of in trouble, but all these health packs have actually been stolen away by Birdring. EMP comes out. It's only a 2-man, but it's all good. Rack Attack ends up falling down first yet again, as now it's a 4-on-5. Decay, yes, don't worry, he's woken up and he's ready to roll. He's got the Pulse Bomb in hand as Boston Uprising mid-fight find the flip.
Yeah, but Luke Mino goes down. They're not going to have much healing for this fight. 92% encountered for Boston Uprising. Eternal can potentially juggle this point back and forth because the Moira will get back quick.
Nice nano boost. Smurf in the front line there was hacked, receiving extra damage from that passive, but he does get up and find a kill onto Dove somehow. Not even an empowered punch killed Dove there. And now is the slow whittling away of Eternal members as they do try and get back onto the point. A pile of bodies there on the corner as Smurf using that ult to Meteor Strike and onto the point, and that'll be it. Boston Uprising, they secure round 1. Although, pretty close. 99% to 100. Not looking too bad, Eternal side of things.
Very close round there by Vegas Eternal. Playing to their strengths. They want to play this Ramatra style. As I said, it's a lot easier to execute than the dive of the Boston Uprising. As much as when you are playing the Sombra, when you're playing the dive, you have control of the flow of the round and the map. It's very easy if you whiff one EMP, you whiff a cycle of ultimates, all of a sudden, it's very difficult to come back from that. But clean play for the Uprising, do close out the first round, and now we move over to Labs, I think this one is called. And yeah, you're going to test my round knowledge here. I caught myself with that one.
I feel maybe they don't all look the same, but it's definitely because it's not been in the game long enough, to be fair, for us to remember all the rounds. But yeah, there's Labs, there's sub-level, and there's the outside one, which is the one that always escapes me.
Yeah.
Icebreaker, that's the one. That is the one.
We're going to see difference in style once again heading over. We got Vulcan remaining on the Ramatra, but Smurf back over to the Winston, a signature hero for him. He's so good at this hero. One of the few players that can rival players like Fearless. And Birdring once again on that Sombra. So the dive versus rush style coming into this round once again. And we saw how well Boston Uprising displaced the Vegas Eternal, but it was close.
Malful on the Hanzo. I kind of like it. Save that Storm Arrow for when Smurf jumps in, destroy the bubble or destroy Smurf. Smurf jumping in at half HP, but still getting the job done with the help of Birdring in the back. They do end up going down, so Smurf dead. Very little space can be created now. It's going to be up to Decay, really, to kind of juggle this point, and unsuccessfully doing so, as Eternal once again find the first cap. Even Vulcan going low. He doesn't really have to worry about too much here. He doesn't have to worry about Smurf getting on top of him or his backline being pressured out at all. Smurfer went down super early.
The dives from the Boston Uprising are very good. It just feels like they're happening so infrequently. Takes them forever to get in position. And Eternal are doing a good job of sort of pushing away the dives.
Oh, wow. I missed Pulse Bomb. That was off in Narnia, that one. Vulcan ducked left. They went right. Nice anti on Vulcan, though. Yeah, Nano Boost on Smurf. I mean, this is quite an easy WN1 moment. They can just walk forward now and just clean them up. Pretty nice stuff there from the Uprising, but I kind of agree. Like, you'd expect, especially when you're on the offense, you want to go, 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 go. Control is not a game mode where you can just kind of chill. Wait around, and especially with the dive comp with Lucio, you want to get in there ASAP. I wonder if they're just kind of setting up for birdering. And, well, that's a pick.
That was one of the things I wanted to speak about. When you're playing against the Hanzo, there's always that looming fact that you could get hit by an arrow at any moment and the player gets taken down. They finally get punished by Malthul, and Volkul's cleaning up.
Oh, EMP hits too. Malthul and Lucamino get hacked, but a beat from Rack Attack way too late. Saves Malthul's life, but not Lucamino's. Although Eternal do manage to find a flip in amongst this chaos. With Smurf dead, this looks like an easy hold for Eternal right now, and a very strong economy of ultimates. 4 out of 5 ults only use that beat to counteract the EMP. And Uprising coming into this next fight with a beat and a pulse.
And this is what I was just talking about, Jack. With the Boston Uprising, they used 2 major ultimates and didn't find the value, so now it becomes very difficult to get back into this fight. They need to get some clean dives and use Lee Jae-gon's beat to stay alive.
Wow, Twilight managed to hop over that pulse bomb like it was nothing. There's the beat from the Boston Uprising, trying to find an early fight here to stop Vegas Eternal using their ultimates, but they've actually popped everything already. Every ultimate thrown into this one fight for Eternal, and they already lose Malthul. And now Decay can set out for a pulse bomb. A beautiful stick, but it got recalled there by the looks of it. Dove just dropped it on the ground. Nice stuff from Decay, sticking a Tracer, but an easy recall for Dove on the other end of it. 90% for Eternal as they're forced off of the point.
Yeah, Vulcan used the Annihilation to just keep himself alive, wait for Luke Mino to get back in. Now we have an even fight, but Boston Uprising are coming back onto their ultimates.
Nano, EMP coming up. There's the dive from Smurf. He's 100% HP this time around. Decay does end up going down as he tries to assist Smurf with this dive, but that's all that about happened. They do end up trading, but right now with the Boston Uprising ultimate economy, you're feeling way better about this. Eternal, they now come into this fight with almost nothing.
Yeah, but Birdering's EMP is the important thing that needs to close out this fight for the Boston Uprising, because Vegas Eternal, they're going to have this nano boost from Luke Mino that's just going to allow Vulcan to just anchor onto this point.
Got a touch.
They've got the flip.
Okay. Man, Boston just keep letting this point go, though. Pretty rough.
Oh. EMP.
EMP, boom! Hits 4 people on Vegas Eternal's side, and Decay is there with the mop and bucket to clean him up. Vegas Eternal, yeah, they're turning tail and running right now. They know they've got a few more fights here, but what an EMP from Birdering.
You very rarely see Sombra's throwing in translocators to EMP anymore these days, but you can understand why he was so smart. Got himself into the middle of the Eternal, hits everyone with the EMP. Even though the Nano goes onto Vulcan, his backline just gets wiped out. Boston Uprising, though, they can't lose another team fight because of all that percentage that Eternal's just gotten by existing so far in this round. And they're coming up to more ultimates. Rack attacked with this sound barrier. They can use it pretty liberally, but Smurf's already forced his Primal Rage as well.
Vulcan actually got pushed out of LOS of heals, forcing Rack Attack to beat to try and keep his tank alive. So Sound Barrier used not even response to a Nano, like response to a Primal Rage of all things. Decay with the Pulse in his hands finds a member on the backline who's pretty low. It's Rack Attack, in fact, who end up getting hacked, but Birdring's actually punished for his sins. Yeah. Nice pulse bomb onto Malthul, so they do end up trading in this fight, but this is last fight for the Boston Uprising now.
Boston's running out of ultimates right now, but it's fine because they're coming up with the picks at the very end.
Yeah, Lucamino's got the Nano Boost too. I mean, you're going to send Vulcan in, maybe Malthul, who switched over to the Reaper. They have to Nano Vulcan, who's on the point. Nice little dodge behind the barrier there, stop the manual hack coming off from Birdring. But look at him struggling to get any work done. I mean, people are just leaping away from him, even when he's in that Nemesis form. Rack Attack dead to Decay in the backline yet again, and all Vulcan could do is just try and survive, but not survive long enough for the rest of his team to come back. Smurf does die, yes, but there's so many members of Boston Uprising on the point. They got an EMP as well if they really need it. Dove eventually gets back to touch the point, but a two-man EMP does manage to land on the front line, and that should really be about it. Dove gets the recall off, but he is probably not left long for this world, although saying that, they are managing to get back just in time. All right, Vulcan's back now on the Doom. Okay, Lucamino's dead. Twilight has to go down here for Eternal to try and find a semblance in this fight, and Dove manages to come out with that miracle pick, but it's not quite enough. Boston Uprising take the map 2-0.
Dove Tracer trying to come in clutch. He's really trying his best for the Vegas Eternal, but Boston Uprising just able to squeeze that one out. But that was a very close map going back and forth. You can see that Vegas They want to play this Ramattra style, and they're playing it well. It just feels like they're really struggling to execute and close out these team fights when they don't have the big ultimates, and Boston Uprising are just bleeding them out. But honestly, a closer series so far than many expected.
Definitely the case. Decay had some really nice follow-up, getting a lot of early picks, to be fair, beating the Crumble Bum allegations. Boston Uprising, you'd expect this to kind of be a blowout, but kind of on the flip side, like, Eternal, they beefed their ultimate economy a couple of times there. There were a few fights where they come in with 3-4 ultimates and you're like, well, you're going to be able to snowball this into a W, and then they end up just using all their ultimates at one time. Right. And as soon as you exhaust that bank, Control, man, it's a tough game mode to actually take control when you've got no ultimates and the enemy has control and can just kind of play you out a little bit and play for their own. Tough stuff for the Vegas Eternal. To start off with, Hollywood up next, and then Shambali Monastery, Colosseo, and Oasis to round us off. We'll see if Eternal can come up with a map win after this. All right, the Boston boys are up one map already. A 2-0 on Antarctic Peninsula. Yeah, looks great on paper, but a couple of close rounds. Scots, 99 to 100 on the first one, and Eternal, there was a couple of times where I'm like, wow, okay, they're taking the dub here. Like, this is pretty damn close.
Yeah, but you don't want to let the percentages deceive you too much. Like,
sure.
In terms of final blows, I think Boston had almost doubled that of the Vegas Eternal. It just felt like Boston were getting off the objective and Vegas was sort of anchoring onto that one, which works well if you're the Vegas Eternal, but that's essentially allowed the Boston Uprising to win team fights because that leaves Luke Mino on an island, leaves Mouthful on an island, and that's how they kept getting these wins for the Boston Uprising. But as we head over to Hollywood, it's a very different map to how Control plays. You cannot get away with really playing the Ramatra. It's very difficult to control space, especially on the second point when you have all those high grounds. So this should be where Boston Uprising feel a lot more comfortable.
You definitely hope so. I mean, this kind of comp for Eternal, it's probably the best comp they can kind of run right now with the Ram. A lot of solo individual playmaking from Dove, and Malful can turn the tides. Dove especially, I mean, there are some games where I'm sitting here, like, dude, Dove is kind of carrying right now. Like, he is feasting on either the back line, the front line, or whatever, and it feels like Dove very much in the game trying to carry his team, but there's just these small bits and pieces that are not really working out for the rest of them. You know, even in a 5v5 mode, you have more impact as a solo player than you did in a 6v6, but still, it's still a team game at the end of the day, and no matter how hard you can carry on the Tracer, sometimes pretty tough. Oh my god, please let me finish my point before making a cool play.
Oh my.
Okay, bro. All right, anyway, DPS dead, everybody. That'll be point A.
Who needs analysis when Birdering go brrrr and just hit people with the Hanzo?
Please, Scott, analyze this information on the screen right now. They just killed everybody.
Yeah.
Break that down for me.
Okay, analysis.
Okay.
Birdering diff.
Okay.
Right there. I actually do want to follow on your point just a little bit before we head over to this second point, because this is actually a change that we've seen from the Vegas Eternal from previous matches. Dove, ever since the Luke Mino Hanzo experiment, they've left Dove on the Tracer and enabled him to play that and put Mouthful over to the Hanzo, where historically that was flipped. Mouthful would be the Tracer player and Dove was playing the hit scan, but I think Mouthful's not that comfortable on Tracer, while Dove has shown to be very adept at it. So I like this switch for the Eternal. Hasn't worked so far in Hollywood, though.
No. But it's okay, because remember, it was RNG. I got killed by a Hanzo. It was RNG.
Birdering actually switched over to the Sombra after that as well. We've seen a lot of players try to play this offensive sort of Hanzo or hit scan.
It's kind of rough.
It's very hard. You can't shoot upwards very effectively.
Nah, not as easy as a Widowmaker on the offense here. You really have to take high ground. And with this Sombra, the D.Va's so susceptible to these hacks. Like, look at that.
Yeah,
instantly
look at
hack. Look at the damage. Burst might be enough to kill. Oh, not quite. I mean, you're looking at, what, sub 50 HP there, maybe? It's really rough if you're on the receiving end of just a manual hack. Nano boost into the backline. Good follow-up with an A2. Twilight doesn't stand a chance, but Decay on the flip side of things does manage to kill Lucamino. So now it's a race to the finish here, trying to pick up as many picks as you possibly can. Birdering dead. Vulcan securing the high ground yet again. Now it's only the cleanup to come in. DJ Gon trying to find some more with Smurf diving into. Yeah, you can't defense Matrix that, unfortunately. And Rack Attack uses the rally too.
Don't love that. Yeah, I don't love that. In the past, that rally would have given enough overhealth and the healing from yourself to keep you alive, but only getting 100 extra armor is not going to give you enough to keep you alive. So a mistake by Rack Attack, which, you know, as much as you go, oh, well, they were probably losing that fight anyway, now they don't have the rally to sustain for the next fight.
Such a massive ult, man. And you know Decay doesn't have Pulse either, so, like, you're not really susceptible to Pulse in that situation. EMP looking to be rather large from Birdering. He knows where Lucamino is, sees him up in the skybox. Bang! Hits both backliners, and look at that, in a blink of an eye, Lucamino is already dead. Dragon's coming out from Malthul to try and find some extra damage or some value, but little to anything there was found. Twilight with a double kill in this fight as Vulcan used the self-destruct to remech, but it is all the Decay and Twilight show right now, holding down the fort. I don't think Birdering needs to do anything at this point.
They're going to touch it. Looks like they want to go for this
They
one.
have Tracer, blink, blink, blink. There you go. Doves on the point. Actually forced the recall. Pulse Bomb in Decay's hands too, as Smurf has rejoined the action as the point has been capped.
Yeah. Just the little thing. Oh, wow. Little things going by the wayside here for the Vegas Eternal. Just unable. Like, the fights are very close.
Yeah.
It just feels like the little things that make these players on the Boston Uprising great are the defining factor of how they're winning these team fights. It's very scrappy back and forth in this series so far, but Boston just individual play seeming to come in clutch as we're on third point, 4 minutes remaining for the Boston Uprising, and they have ultimates to spare as well, Jack.
Detected. Malware has been detected. Your PC is now shutting down.
Oh no. Windows
Birdering is in your backline. Windows update. They need a Windows update to stop Birdering getting off these EMPs, that's for sure. All right. Setting up for a hack, just kind of scouting
Giving
people
so
out.
much space up.
They are, yeah. I mean, you're on the final stretch already, and Decay is just kind of chilling with a Pulse Bomb still. You know Rack Attack also doesn't have ult. Like, Rack Attack has done almost no healing.
Yeah.
All right, there's the dive. Nano boost onto Smurf. Good sleep. And Pulse Bomb onto the shield too, so Decay doesn't find anything either. They do use Pulse on Rack Attack to try and keep alive if there was a subsequent second dive from Decay. Nice anti-nade onto Rack Attack, holding the shield firm, but not firm enough as it now is joining Lucamino in the spawn room. Decay and Smurf making these dives look easy.
Yeah,
I think that's it, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's really the major thing between these top-end teams and these bottom-end teams is when you end up on the Winston compositions, that really separates the boys from the men, right? Of these dive compositions is where you need a lot of coordination, but just individual skill. Like when you have the Winston of caliber of Smurf, when you have the Tracer of the caliber of Decay, if you're the Vegas Eternal, it's difficult to keep up with that. To the point that they're not even doing that. They're putting Malthor on the Hanzo, Vulcan on the Diva, which plays to their strengths, but they just can't be proactive with their style, right? They're just playing defensive, waiting for Boston Uprising to walk into them. So Boston gets the whole first half of the third point for free, and then all of a sudden Boston just use their ultimates to walk in and they lose. And that's hard for the Eternal. So let's see if it'll work better on defense. I expect them to go over to the Diva and Hanzo to begin with. Can potentially actually, they're going on over to the attack. Actually, I'm getting mixed up. Maybe some Junker Queen action, which could be an interesting look here for the Vegas Eternal.
That would be pretty interesting. Kind of punishes Smurf for going for these big dives too. Let's have a look. Oh, that's what Smurf was kind of cleaning. Just the dive after Decay missed the Pulse Bomb, but I mean, if there's one Winston you've got to look at to improve your game, you should be familiar with this guy. I mean, Smurf's primals are just... I mean, Fearless, one of the best primalers in the world. Smurf is up there, close second place. He's on the phone. He's asking for more money. Yeah. Do you see that primal? Give me a raise.
Pre, you there? Do you see that? Yeah. Need more money.
Who's he calling? I love that emote, bro.
Okay, we are going to see Eternal going with a different look, and I like this idea, and there's been a lot of speculation around... Oh, never mind.
Okay, they're going back. That's interesting, because they see Smurf... Right, okay, so they see Smurf on the Winston. They decide to go to the Diva instead. So normally with the Junker Queen, it's very hard for you to dive into that as Winston, because one, she has a shotgun, and two, she can pull you back in with Gracie, the knife. And then you also have Carnage, which the giant axe swing, like tough to actually take down a JQ and tough to dive into when you have a JQ looking at you as well. So I'm curious on the decision making here, but like you said before, kind of creature comforts. Vulcan, one of his better heroes is...
I'm not in love with this Baptiste with this composition as well. One of the values of the Nano is you can nano your tank in to give you space.
Or even nano your Brig to survive Pulse Bomb.
It's just a great ultimate. While the Amplification Matrix can be strong, it's also difficult to heal your Tracer and your Diva as the Baptiste from time to time.
Oh, buttering.
They are forcing the position of the Boston Uprising quite well, and they are going to find Twilight with that.
All right, now you just need to a clean finish here. Birdring and Twilight already dead. A perfect wraparound from the Eternal. This should just be it. I mean, this is as quick as Boston Uprising was on their attack, and Birdring got a double kill on the Hanzo to start off with. There you go, that would be point 8. Oh, you take that any day of the week. Nice rotation, good pick off by Malthor.
Yeah, Uprising just not really ready for that rotation for the Eternal, and then Mouthful gets a great opening pick onto Twilight. From
the
there,
Sonic of all things.
Yeah, you know, just shooting in their general direction, trying to get some information. Information found, 1 dead.
1 dead. Found him.
Birdring once again switching over to the Sombra on this second point. And
I love this for second.
Yeah, I love this for second as well. And Baptiste struggles heavily against that Sombra.
Oh, what a flail from Lee J gone there. Does unfortunately go down to a log. Flail to dove away, so he misplaces the pulse spot. So Smurf in trouble, but I mean, if Twilight's got your back, you're probably not dying anytime soon. In fact, Vulcan is 1910 HP. How did he get away? Oh my god. He literally got away with almost murder. Didn't find a kill, but they did get the control of the high ground at least.
Lukemino is getting hacked and getting dove, and Smurf's trying to find somebody to shoot. Can't. Eventually ends up on Mouthful, back onto Lukemino, but they're trading aggro so well. Are the Eternal. Smurf just has no targets to take down. Wow, that was really nice. Perfect peel on Lukemino there from Rack Attack and Vulcan, booping Smurf away as he was Nano trying to kill the backline. There's the Nano. On to... Oh, it went on to Smurf a little earlier on. That's the rally coming out, the IMAX, and that'll be a clean switch. Okay, Vegas Eternal, let's go. 4 ultimates, however, for the Boston Uprising to come out. It's whether they can actually touch... If I were Eternal right now, you need 3 on. I like the early Dragon as well. Force the position. Twilight actually almost goes down, gets forced to use the Biotic Grenade early. Hits 2. Vulcan and Lukemino in trouble. There's the Lab clutch. Can Lukemino survive? Use the shift, actually getting an instant 100 HP back. Smurf committing so much to this fight, and they're going to be able to clean up. Eternal not able to kind of use that space in time. 0.86 meters to go for Eternal now as they almost C9 the Boston Uprising. However, they get the demech, they get in the kills. No one was worried, not even me. You're very worried, and honestly, the backline of the Eternal justifying why they're playing this Baptiste. Lukemino was doing a phenomenal job of staying alive from the aggression of Smurf. Rack Attack and Lukemino trading aggro quite well. Forced EMP, forced the Nano out of the Boston Uprising. Unfortunately, weren't able to close that one out, but they should have at least a little bit more time to step up, and they're going to get their ultimates of their own. The Amplification Matrix and the Diva Bomb will enable Vulcan to play aggressive. They actually take control of this high ground, though. Yeah, they're so slow. Look, they're just sort of standing around. Dude, it's just Smurf versus the entirety of the Eternals standing on high ground. Nice anti there from Twilight. Bit of free ult charge there. You take that. Window from Lukemino. Okay, so this is what you want to see. Honestly, the window at this point, you can shoot your hands through it, sure thing, but taking control of height is so important for the BAP. Absolutely worth it. Now they have full control of this high ground. That's what they ultimately wanted. Very nice. Almost gets a manual hack there by Birdring, but the entire time, the Eternal were looking at Decay and Birdring crossing the bridge. They didn't look at Smurf, and Malfoy ends up going down. The payload... Where was that pulse? Did Dove try and just slam dunk on someone's head? Nice pulse onto Lukemino, though, from Decay. That one found its mark. Smurf just doesn't want to use this Primal. He's just making himself the threat. Look at me! Hey, everyone, it's me! Hey, and then jumping away as soon as he gets low, but doesn't want to have to commit the Primal Rage. Recognizes they're in an advantage in this fight. If he's able to hold on to this one, that's just another threat, another weapon the Uprising have for the next fight. And EMP. Yeah, both support ultimates. How do you enter into this fight if you're the Eternal? They want to get the high ground, but it's just going to be so difficult because if they group up, if they try and go anywhere, look at them in the bottom left. This is a trap. Birdring is just going to be waiting for them to show their faces and drop that EMP. Yeah, you don't even need Admiral Akbar to tell you that. It is a trap if you walk anywhere near that. Oh, 99%. He's so close to EMP. He finally got it. He's thrown in. No, he has to back out. He was so low. They do end up nanoing Smurf in, though, and Eternal are going to respond with a rally to try and get on to high ground. Lee J gone flank Brig. I mean, he's kind of low. Nice nade onto Malfoy. Does get antied, but look at the defense matrix. Surprise! He's on high ground. Oh my god. All right, and Twilight kills 2 people. I mean, if you're on the Star Destroyer right now in Star Wars and the Admiral's telling you it's a trap, it's definitely a trap, but not the one you're expecting. You're not expecting Lee J to rally onto the high ground. No one was prepared for Raid Boss Brig with the IMAX coming out of nowhere. As 13 seconds remain, Mouthful switches over to the Sombra. Desperation here. They're going to try and just sort of juggle off of this point, but Birdring held on to that EMP. I wouldn't be surprised if the first person to touch the cart gets EMP'd. Oh no, he wants the back line. He's looking at him,
Oh, EMP is large. Both Lucamino and Rack Attack hacked, and well, there's no support anymore. Dove with a pulse goes wide. It should just be the cleanup. Easy peasy. Nice self-destruct. Nope, all good. All good. No miracle self-destruct from Vulcan today. It is all blue for the Boston Uprising. A 2-0 as they take Hollywood.
Boston, Boomage, we're going to have to put a hold on that one because they're looking very clean, especially on these Winston compositions.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like they're heavily leaning into playing that style, and when they're on maps that favor that, exactly like Hollywood, Vegas Eternal just can't match that. They had some individual brilliance from Mouthful and Dove to sort of get them some teamfight wins, but for the most part, Boston Uprising, if you have Birdring doing this, how do you stop that?
I don't think there's anything more satisfying than getting a headshot when you're dashing in the air as Hanzo.
Let me trade in. I don't think there's anything more infuriating than walking around and you seeing the Hanzo jump around the wall, throw a Hanzo arrow at you and hit you in the head.
Am I in a cinematic right now? Is someone filming this to put in a cinematic? I don't think so. Oh, Twilight with a bag too.
Wow,
Drop
disrespect.
I love it. Lovely stuff from the Boston Uprising so far. A few nice highlights too. Put that in the package. All right, well, the Vegas Eternal, the prophecy. Is it so much of a prophecy? Everybody on the desk predicted a 3-0. Oh my god, that was a close to being easy to. Vulcan had the right idea there, but yeah, unfortunate stuff. Eternal almost made it. Almost a very, very quick point A cap. Couldn't quite get second, unfortunately. They were close to even C9ing Boston Uprising there. So maybe there is still fuel in the tank for Vegas. We'll have to wait and see, though. Shambali Monastery. Shambolic Monastery up next.
That's Smurf calling up his coaches. Get me out of here. Put Kalios. I've seen enough. As we have Kalios coming off of the bench over to Shambali Monastery. Likely to see some more off-tanks. This could be a map that leans into the Vegas Eternal a lot more. They could play that Ramatra style. It's been very common on this map. So potentially could look a lot more like map 1 compared to what we saw on Hollywood just there, where Boston Uprising just the much stronger team.
Yeah, for sure. It was a very quick entry for the Eternal. They did manage to cap point A pretty fast, get the payload going. Almost C9 to the Boston Uprising on second. It was like 0.86 meters away, but wasn't to be. I mean, Boston Uprising just there through sheer power, like strength, like raw energy coming up with the win. I mean, Twilight was even getting his name in the kill feed on the Ana, and that's how free the Ana is at that point. You're like, if the Ana's putting in damage, like pumping numbers and getting kills, like, you know at that point, the Ana just, she do be chilling on the high ground. And like, if you can do that and you're not really worried about your tanks, like, you're in a severe disadvantage if you're the other team. It was rough. But with Kalios coming in, I mean, Boston Uprising deciding they want to go on attack first. A couple more off-tank choices, I would imagine. I'm kind of expecting what he's hovering now, the Diva, but could change it.
It's difficult to really know. The meta on Shambali Monastery has been just all over the place. We've seen everything under the sun. We've seen some Sigma, we've seen some Bastion, we've seen some Mercy, even if you go all the way over to APAC. It seems like people are starting to trend towards playing this Ramatra May style, and that's what you can see Vegas Eternal rolling out on right now. How are the Uprising going to respond? They have to assume and expect this one to come, and it looks like they're going to take the Mirror. I was wondering if Birdring was going to stay on that Sombra. Very few teams play Sombra with the Ramatra unless you're the Atlanta Reign and you have Lip, the best Sombra in the world. It's hard to match that level of play.
I'm really starting to also like the close holds. I think because where Dub is currently sitting, there is a mega health pack. If you can kind of chill there and just get some shots off, it could be really beneficial for the rest of your team and your supports, not having to really look at you the whole time. Burn some extra time off the clock too, but with a Malful going down that early, not the best start in the world.
Yeah, they're
still extra time.
Getting so low. Luke Mino's on damage control, but not enough damage. They are going to trade Birdring back. Luke Mino?
Okay, Luke Mino fights both DPS. Sure thing. Sure thing. But you're getting time off the bank. This is what counts right now. Did Twilight just drop the bag again?
Of course.
Dude, he's dropping bags left, right, and center.
Taking names, dropping bags.
Honestly,
you know
it doesn't matter how good your opponent is or how hard you crush them or how, you know, even if it's a very close game, drop the bag.
Yeah.
Mental warfare is half the game.
That's it. That's it. And you can see the Eternal stepping up. This is a consistent theme on this map. You want to take 3 fights. If you hold spawn close, then you can step up as soon as the Boston Uprising get to this choke, because you have such a massive advantage holding this exact spot, because the Mei Wall is obviously hyper effective. There's not many flanks that the Boston Uprising can take, so they're definitely at the advantage. As you can see, Boston Uprising trying to drop the walls and get space.
What have they created? A small 2v2 battle arena with those 2 walls. And Rack Attack, the first victim. Birdring in this very small corridor, somehow kept alive, but yeah, just backline of the Boston Uprising things, I suppose. Nice little kill from Lucamino, who's getting the most kills on the side of the Vegas Eternal right now, but once more, it's kind of a slow bleed out.
Yeah, and Lucamino's got to be careful not to stagger here. They might get another fight just here. So you can see Kalios is trying to work out how he wants to apply pressure, stop them from being able to get a third re-engage. That last kill there from Luke Mino potentially slowed everything down here for the Boston Uprising, and there will be an effective fight. Look how many ultimates Boston Uprising has and how many Eternal are about to get.
Dragon Strike. Oh, Kalios, he's in trouble. Not anymore. Nanoed, and now here comes the clobbering time. Oh, Malfoy. Okay, Vulcan. Unfortunately goes down to a Kalios who is frozen and still using Annihilation. Rest in peace. That is still one of my favorite kills of Ram, when you're asleep or frozen and your Annihilation is still finding... It's like, I'm doing nothing, but people are dying.
My job here is done.
You are literally AFK. You could have gone to the bathroom, got a snack, it's all good. You're still killing people.
Vulcan just didn't have his Annihilation up in the same way that Kalios did, so he just didn't have that extra bit of sustainability. Rack Attack didn't have the sound barrier just yet, so the
nice little flank.
overclock.
Good wall though from Decay. He has to blow through that before he can start doing damage. As Decay didn't receive that beat, sniped out of midair by Dove. And they do trade the life for Vulcan, but Dove comes up with another one. Double kill for the Sojourn. Overclock has run out, and this is a rather awkward fight for Dove and Muffle to take. Muffle could potentially wall himself up onto high ground, but chooses against it. Actually isolating Kalios from the rest of his team, but now they are in a bad spot as Lijigon is currently just pushing the payload solo.
Yeah, both healers are still alive for the Boston Uprising.
What
and
is
they're just
happening?
Forever sustaining Kalios, and then Kalios is the one who comes out on top.
What is this? Alright, Annihilation coming in. Lijigon's still alive as Kalios trying to find something, some kill. Not going to happen. Annihilation invested by Vulcan there to push Kalios away. Lijigon finds a boom kill. Where is Lijigon? Right, oh, he's there. Okay.
That should be an Overwatch segment.
Where is Lijigon?
Where is Lijigon? And he's in the strangest positions ever. As the Vegas Eternal, they do manage to hold on, even though it was chaotic and it was expensive for them to hold on to it. They did manage. 2 minutes 30 remaining, but Boston Uprising, now it's their turn with the ultimates.
Rough fight. Malfoy needs this Blizzard. He needs it. He requires it. 15%. Dragon Strike through the wall is... They were illuminated by that Sonic Arrow, and here comes the Nano Kalios. Where is Lijigon? Don't know, but he's getting kills, that's for sure. Not even Annihilation might not be used. No, Malfoy did not have a chance. He got the ultimate, but was unable to use it, as now Lucamino and Rack Attack are forced away from the point. They do trade their tanks, but his Decay, with a pair of Swift Greaves there, just moving forward, killing the supports, and that'll be the point taken. 3 minutes and 23 seconds, Scott. I would actually like to know the fastest cap time on third point of Shambali Monastery. Just kind of an aggregated list, because I feel like this map is pretty damn hard to finish.
Yeah. You're always going to get at least slowed down a little bit on the second point, and then even more so on the third point, because it's just so defensive favored. But Boston Uprising aren't worried about that, and once again, able to hold on to so many of their ultimates. Malfoy stepping up to get a Blizzard. Having to use his Ice Block early, he's got to be careful to try and get out of this one.
Oh, nice headshot. Finish off with a swift left hook from Vulcan there. Here comes the Annihilation. Nice response by Malfoy. Wall, or attempted wall onto Kalios, but Twilight's not caught in that. Neither's Lijigon, so they can both just pump him full of heals just to keep him alive. Plus he can hold his arms for... What? It's like Usain Bolt. He's just running through the team. Okay. Wow, Kalios was fast. Fast to the grave too, as Malfoy managed to pick him off. Lijigon now in a little bit of trouble, but he's just skating away, minding his own business.
Yeah, Lijigon's sound barrier comes out a little late. Whoa, that is a late Annihilation.
Wow, disappeared because he wasn't tagging anybody.
I don't know if he used that to just make sure he stays alive, but an absolute waste.
Then.
You can't say anything else about that. That's just a waste there from Vulcan. Now
nice
he's isolatable with Decay with that Blizzard.
Here comes the beat though. One more tool to save him is Dove. He's back in the action. Get his name high on that leaderboard right now in terms of kills. All right, Vulcan and Dove holding it down. All good. We'll pretend the mistake didn't happen. And Lijigon, yeah, he's running for the hill. Don't chase him, please. You don't know where he is going.
Eternal, they do get that fight with, but as I said, once again, they just use so many ultimates so consistently to win some of these team fights. As much as that wins you fights in the short term, they have to use so many ultimates that it gets more and more difficult to hold the consequential fight that follows up that one. You have Decay with the Blizzard, Nano out onto Kalios as he runs into the backline.
He's running. He do be running. Nice little sleep. Nade from Twilight. God, he makes Ana look so easy. Nice little Nano and Kalios, and the problem with that choke point, Scott, is that the entire choke can't be covered up with one May wall. So there is gaps you can kind of peek around it and make sure you can help your tank. And now the final push begins.
Yeah, 1 minute remaining here for the Boston Uprising. They're in control of the car. Eternal are the ones having to step into them. If Malfoy can get this Blizzard, it could be huge.
Touches, all good. Vulcan's on. Rack Attack, unfortunately, slain. An arrow to the head. Nice little wall.
Great wall.
And a Blizzard. Perfect stuff. Annihilation. Arms crossed. And a death sentence for Kalios. Couldn't get kept alive. It's now, this time, the wall. Very... Oh.
It's fine. You kind of a C9. The fight was over.
Kind of, yeah. Good wall, though, from Malfoy to try and stop Kalios. Annihilating the rest of the team as he did rip his ultimate and try and run it down once again. 40 seconds, though. To be fair, the Boston Uprising coming into that third point, they had 2 and a bit minutes left to go. So not a bad time bank in Vegas Eternals camp there. We'll have to see what they can do on the attack. As now Boston Uprising get their chance to defend.
Boston Uprising is such an interesting team this season as a whole, right? Obviously, when this roster first got announced, everyone was wide-eyed, especially you, Jack.
Yeah,
you know,
I was.
You're living in 2021 and talking about how great this roster is, how many rings and championships this Boston Uprising squad has earned on various teams. And you've seen it come together, and when it does come together, it looks incredible, right? We finally have Decay on a team that has world-class potential around him. We have experience from Birdring from 2018. You got the legendary backline.
Bro, Twilight's been around since Apex Season 1 on BK Stars, bro.
There's so many upsides to this Boston Uprising team. And there was a lot of concerns about this team moving in and forward from their Vancouver title loss. Is that going to affect them? Is that really where they stand as a team?
Well.
It was convincing there for the Vancouver Titans. And I think Vancouver are a strong team, but if you're the Uprising, that's a team that you need to beat to prove that you are a stronger team. And obviously this is a great bounce back against the Vegas Eternal, but obviously it's the Vegas Eternal. It's hard to really gauge and read how much improvement there has been in the week off that they had.
Back to Sojin. Lijigon just stared him in his eyes as he held that shield. You're always hoping as the Widow player there that the Brig tries to taunt you in any way or like randomly puts down shield.
Just, like drops it. People have done that and you're like,
I know. You're like, why? What are you doing? You're looking at Widow. You know, she had like 5 seconds to line up that shot, right?
Didn't want her to break my shield.
Yeah, bro, I need my shield. It's the start of the game.
We are seeing an interesting look here for the Uprising though, playing the Diva Sombra on defense, deciding against that Ramatra.
On a moment, in the nade between 5 people and it didn't hit anybody. Okay.
Delta split.
That sucks. Nice wrap though.
Taking the high ground.
Been good at sneaky, sneaky. Whoa. Oh, the net. Wait,
that missed again? Dude, Twilight's getting scammed.
What? How are these nades missing? All right, okay. Even world-class Ana players, some of the best in the world, miss these nades, chat. Don't you worry. That nade here actually hit Vulcan, but Vegas Eternal, they do such a good job of finding these flank routes. Window utilized by Lucamino. That'll be a good first couple of picks. It's going to snowball potentially to get this car onto this high ground, or at least halfway up the hill. Not bad at all. Good wrap once again. They did the same thing on Hollywood.
Birdring going for a late hack, trying to get a pick on a rack attack, is going to go down. Hopefully doesn't result in too much.
He's got EMP.
Yeah, he's got an EMP, and this should be a hard fight for the Eternal to win, but they are coming up on their ultimates. This really needs to be the snowball fight for Eternal. They need to win this team fight.
It's Rack Attack versus Birdring right now. Rack Attack has the beat. He needs to save his team from this EMP. Birdring has also got a pulse and he's staring directly at the back, and there's the EMP. Rack Attack gets hacked and Lucamino's already dead. Rack Attack still drops the sound barrier though. It hits 4 as Birdring is still peppering away at the back line, but now is the chance for Vegas to try and turn this with an overhealth. They take care of Decay with a swift icicle headshot from Mouthful, but without your support, your main healer in Lucamino, this fight is going to be rather swift, and swift it is. Boston Uprising taking over.
Eternal haven't dealt well with these Birdring EMPs. It feels like every time an EMP has gone down, they've been able to find the target that they were looking for. Sound barrier just a little bit too late. And that's going to be difficult to deal with. Rack Attack staying on that Lucio. They have the Annihilation, they have the Blizzard, but look at how annoying this Uprising squad is. They're just charging another EMP, looking for targets to get...
Dude, why is Twilight here? I mean, sure, Twilight moment. Lamp used to try and save the backline. Rack Attack in trouble. Ilios slowly but surely making his way towards the backline. Nice wall by Mouthful, but Lijigon, where is he? He's in the front line. With that shield and that flail, just taking care of business.
I think Twilight's looking for Lijigon. That's why he's in a different spot as well.
Yo, you forgot your passport, bro. You can't board the flight. Come back.
Twilight's been looking for Lijigon so long, he's ended up in the opposition's backline. And he's like, well, this is my life now, I guess.
I think that's smart positioning, though, to be fair. No one really is expecting you to be there. Well, Eternal did actually expect him to be there because they walled him off. Like, they didn't try and go for him, and now they're eventually clearing out this high ground to stop Twilight doing any cheeky things with nades.
Birdring's getting up to another EMP though, and you can see
away, man.
Uprising aren't letting the Eternal feel comfortable with these team fights, not letting them get into position, playing fast and just taking out Lucamino before the fight even begins.
Batline's in trouble, or there it is. Okay, good pick. Once again, Dove comes up clutch, and EMP is just too good though. Birdring shuts down Dove. And I just shut down the whole PC as well. Self-destruct from Ilios does split the team for a little bit, as now Twilight is just going DPS mode. There's 2 kills for the Ana, and with overtime about to be in session. Oh, Secret Agent Rack Attack gets slammed to try and touch.
So
but
good.
Twilight is just in the front line playing like he's a DPS. 4 kills for the Ana?
No!
Yes, sir!
Stop this
5
man!
kills for Twilight. There you go. World-class Ana and an eat on the Blizzard by Ilios. Boston Uprising with a 3-0 in the series.
Twilight's just so good at Ana. It feels almost insulting we haven't been able to watch Twilight's entire career because he's just one of the best flex supports in the business. He's been doing this for years, and he's showing why.
He's the best Ana in the world.
Gets 5K, just knows how to play aggressive, knows what his limitations are, and just puts Eternal in a locker.
3-0. Well, the desk were right, which is great. That doesn't normally happen, so that's awesome. Pats on back all around. Boston Uprising, they're looking good. This is a game we needed. Blood Mix is on the team, bro. Blood Mix is on the team. Boston Uprising need this win, this 3-0, because coming off that loss against the Vancouver Titans, where it was a 3-0, but like you're thinking, oh, maybe it was close, right? Maybe. No, it wasn't. It was actually quite dominant from the Titans side of things. This is the kind of confidence booster I think that the Boston Uprising needed. They are 4-1 now, Scott, after this week.
Yeah, and it is worth noting, the Boston Uprising have had a very easy schedule in the front half, okay? I'm not discrediting their accomplishments. They're 4-1. They're playing very strong. But the hardest opponent that they've had to play against has been the Vancouver Titans, and they've fallen. We haven't seen them play against your Florida Mayhems, your Houston Outlaws, your Atlanta Reigns, right? That's really the true test that I want to see the Boston Uprising hold up against.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to hope for. Maybe the schedule was a little bit easy, but hey, a warm-up into some sick games.
You know who else's schedule was easy? San Francisco Shock, and where are they?
Oh, where are they now, huh? All right, let's have a look at the player of the match, though, coming out of this series. 3-0, and who's it gonna be? Oh, yes. It's your boy that's been playing since Season 1 of Apex. And there's probably some viewers out there that don't know what Apex was, but it was the premier tournament before the Overwatch League where so many of these big players that, some of them still around, made their name. And Twilight is one of them, playing since the game's inception at a high level, at the highest level, I should say. He's missed a couple of big tournaments here and there, a year of the Overwatch League, but Twilight is the guy that you can rely on when he picks the Ana. I mean, he looked clean this series. I mean, the stat card will tell it all, right? I mean, of course.
He's one of the GOATs of Overwatch in general. When you talk about Profit, when you talk about Third Ring, Twilight has been right there with them, and he has been around since the beginning of time. Just such a mechanically strong flex support player. And just look at the numbers. As you said, Jack, they speak for themselves. Only 2.6 deaths per 10 minutes, but had 6.6 final blows per 10 is just an absolute monster performance.
I mean, the Bionic Grenade kills too, 7.7 per 10, also a little bit wacky. I'm not sure what the damage stats were on Twilight, but a lot of the time, especially on Hollywood, dude was just sitting up there, just kind of popping heads.
Being a sniper.
Yeah. Can Ana headshot? No. Should she be able to?
No,
Yes.
no. The answer was no to that one.
Balance team. You know the vibes. We're going to jump to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. A 3-0 from the Boston Uprising. They're looking great. We'll see how the rest of the teams can do today. We'll see you in a bit.
Welcome back, everyone. Chat, it is on you. Cheer on your favorite team with an official jersey. That's right, up to 20% off right now. So get yours at shop.overwatchleague.com. They're looking good, loving all those revamped looks from all the teams. So make sure to just grab them all. You know, why not?
All of them.
I'm a collector at heart, so I gotta have all of them or none. Gotta commit.
Well, I think you could.
How many do you have right now?
No, you gotta commit. There is no such thing as a favorite.
Okay, you say you're a collector. How many do you have right now?
0. Well, that's all or nothing, and I went for nothing.
Oh.
But my point stands.
We're really selling it, so
Yeah,
I am.
Great salesman.
It's okay. For your birthday, I'll get you one. I'll get you the Atlanta one.
I have the shock jersey.
You should have
it. Love the shock jersey.
I don't know.
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
And this is, and you've been cheering them on for years. So this is your chickens are coming home to roost in a good way.
Finally,
or the
my
Phoenix.
also. Funny. Anyway, this is not about Atlanta, right? We want to talk about the Boston Uprising as they showed us a dominant performance that we needed to see from them in this match against the Vegas.
Okay, well, I mean, yes, they 3-0'd, but it was not like the best Boston's ever looked.
But the dominant
Look, I don't know what you think, Jake, but it was an individual skill difference. Like they showed up and went to work.
Yeah,
that was
the first map was kind of close. I feel like it all was in the player. The story was in the player cams of Boston after they won. They like bored. I mean, this was.
They're like, why are we here?
They're like, you guys gotta give me something more. Make this like interesting for us. You know, honestly, first map, I feel like it was possibilities, right? Both rounds were 99, 100, but. I mean, yeah, there's too much individual player gap on pretty much every role. And I feel like this is what Boston should do. Just play your comfort heroes, play what you feel strongest on, and just mechanically gap a lot of these teams. I mean, I'm sure some of the top teams are going to be hard to do that against, but for Boston, I think a lot of these quote-unquote easier wins are going to come really naturally because the mechanics just matter so much when you have a big difference. You can like leverage that.
But you just mentioned comfort heroes. If we're looking at the Vegas Eternal here, that is pretty much what we saw from them, right? They play to their strength, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, and I like that too. I like Lugmino on the back. I think most teams wouldn't run this comp that Vegas is running, but this is very much, you know, their strengths, their comfort. I don't mind the comp. I just don't think it's enough. I mean, there's too many layers of issues with Vegas, really, for them to make a game like this competitive.
Yeah, I mean, composition is one thing, and I don't mind anything that Vegas really played. It's about survivability. It's about not getting picked, and there are several times in these fights, even the way Hollywood kicked off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you come in with Hanzo and get 2 picks off the bat, where it's like, okay, it's Hanzo you're playing against, so you're going to get picked. But no, actually, you should be able to at least take some precaution to stay alive longer and give yourself a chance to have a fight before it even begins. So compositions were all right, but it comes down to individual play and actually taking things seriously.
But Hanzo just shoots 2 arrows and kills both your DPS. You're like, all right, we did our best, guys. we showed up. We're dead to the Hanzo.
Yeah, and that can happen in scrims, but like in official matches, it's like a Hanzo is coming, guys. You gotta be ready for that.
Yeah, you know, I think dying in the Hanzo mirror, it can happen. You're both shooting each other. You know, you're both taking the risk to slow down, charge up the shots. You can get dinked. The Tracer not realizing she's Sonic and kind of like running right into the arrow, that's a little unfortunate.
That's unfortunate.
You should be blinking
but that
around
was an example. I think it happened a few times during the match where it's just like Boston finding picks, and you're like,
you're right.
I guess they lost the fight because they got picked.
Yeah, I think Boston, there was just an overwhelming difference between these teams. You know, any one detail we could look at, it's going to be insignificant in the face of that.
Yeah.
Boston Boomish isn't happening.
Well,
it's not true.
Not against the Vegas Eternal. So that's
for now.
For now.
One would hope.
One would hope. But yeah, I mean, we predicted that heading into it. It's just an individual skill difference we have there on every single role. And we do have a winner's interview ready now as well. So Danny, please take it away.
Thank you, Zoe. And off I go. I'll be right back, guys. Be right back.
Good. That was
right, for the post-match interview, we got Smurf from Boston Uprising. Smurf, congratulations on getting the win. 자, 오늘 승리 축하드립니다. 스머프 선수 잘 들리시죠?
네, 감사합니다.
Right, Smurf says thank you. So before I ask about this match specifically, I do want to ask about your previous match because I think that was like the shocking result for everybody. You guys losing to the Vancouver Titans. What sort of happened? Because you guys were, I guess, Vancouver was the underdog. Everyone sort of expected Boston to win, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. So what went wrong for the Boston Uprising in that match? 자, 이번 경기보다 좀 더 여쭤보고 싶은 게 아무래도 밴쿠버의 경기가 아닐까 생각을 합니다. 아무래도 그 경기가 보스턴이 이길 거라고 많은 분들이 예상했지만은 아쉽게 패배를 하게 되셨는데 그 경기에서 좀 어떤 문제가 좀 있으셨나요?
일단 밴쿠버전 같은 경우에는 저희가 준비가 제대로 잘 되지가 않았던 것 같고 팀 전체적으로도 플레이를 할 때 여유가 많이 없었던 것 같아서 그냥 그날 상대가 더 잘해서 밴쿠버가 이겼던 것 같아요.
Right. I think that it's just Vancouver sort of playing better. Definitely, I think us as a team, we weren't as prepared compared to Vancouver, and also team play as wise as well. I think I guess Vancouver was the better team at the end of the day. All right, but today you guys got the win, and you guys have another match coming up against the Toronto Defiant later this week. So I want to get your thoughts on Toronto Defiant. Like, how confident are you going into that matchup? 자, 오늘 방금 밴쿠버에서 아쉽게 패배를 하셨지만 일주일 후에 재정비 이후에 굉장히 오늘 좋은 모습을 보여주셨고 이제 이번 주에 한 경기가 더 남으셨죠. 토론토와의 경기가 있는데 그 경기를 좀 예상을 해보자면 어떠실 것 같습니까?
일단 저번 밴쿠버전 패배 이후에 저희가 몰랐던 것들을 좀 많이 깨달을 수 있게 되어가지고 일단 저희가 잘하는 조합을 하고 이제 자신감 있게 토론토전 경기 잘 할 수 있을 것 같아요.
All right. After the loss that we had suffered after the Vancouver match, we started to realize things that we didn't catch on before. And on top of that, we are learning new things and we are sort of being more confident in our plays and we're finding out what we are good at and we're sort of playing compositions that we are good at as well. So that's our mentality going into the Toronto Defiant matchup. All right, Smurf, thank you so much for your time. And again, big congratulations on the win. 자, 승리 다시 한번 축하드리면서 마치도록 하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye and thank you, Smurf. Congratulations, of course, to him and the entire team for that W. Good PR answers there. Absolutely loving it.
Yeah, he could have given better PR answers.
No, but I mean, it's always interesting to hear some introspective, when it comes to top losses, such as they suffered. Now, of course, they hopefully can continue riding the high after the victory against the Vegas City.
I was just like,
Why are you guys laughing?
it's like, we got absolutely dumpstered by Vancouver Titans. It's like, yeah, I guess we're the better team at the end of the day. It's like, well, no, like Boston is supposed to be the better team against Vancouver Titans.
Yeah.
Like that, to some degree, that should be unacceptable for like this team to be like, yeah, at the end of the day,
they learned a lot along the way, and they'll do better. And
it's so casual.
And you learn something.
Like
That's a beautiful
you learn something new every time you lose, right? Right, Costa? There you go. Thank you.
I couldn't have planned to answer better myself. We learned a lot from that loss.
Yeah, there's a lot to take away.
Maybe I'm asking for too much. I just want to see them come out and be like, we got Lee J Gone, we got Isayaki, we got Twilight, we got Birdring. Like, we should be able to just smack these fools and just win.
Smack these fools. You heard it first.
I guess Vancouver was the better team.
Those fools will be up in just a little bit. We will be talking about them in just a second. But in case you just can't get enough of Overwatch, not League, Overwatch action in general, we got more for you. Because Calling All Heroes, the Master 1, is gonna pop up tomorrow, actually. So make sure to get all the information. CallingAllHeroes.gg is the website you need to visit for all the information. I am super excited to see more competition. It's always a good day when there is more Overwatch. And we have plenty to come as well. So let's dive into our next match. Vancouver Titans, those fools. As Johnny likes to call them. Let's actually take a look at
Come on, don't do that, Zoe. Don't do that. Jake knows what I'm talking about. You need to you can't respect your opponent.
There you go.
I wanted more fire from Smurf in that interview, but we got the fire from the Vancouver Titans in his tweet.
Their Twitter
bring
games are good.
Yeah, respectable for sure.
Sugar-free, overslept. That's a very Johnny thing to do as well.
Yes.
Yes, the league to delay our match.
See.
When have I overslept? Who was late today?
Me and Zoe, actually.
Who is late?
All right, guys, let's
Zoe and Jake were late today.
So basically,
8
Titans
minutes.
are making fun of the Vegas one, right? Avala situation.
Yeah.
All right, got it. All right, hey, look at the lineup. We love Sugar Free, we love Punk, we love Aspire. I love this crew. They beat Boston. They look great. I think they're the favorites in this matchup.
I think so too. I love the Spitfire with an interesting roster as well. Probably going to play Rush comp since they don't have Lethal in. Usually Backbone Sparker, these guys come out when they want to commit to a rush style Admiral as well, which makes sense on the control points, especially we heard from Hadi recently that, London wanting to lean a little bit more into their strengths, more into what's comfortable for them. So I'd like to see some of these Rhine and Sim compositions coming out. I kind of think you need the Sim to enable the Rhine, but I think if anyone can do it, it should be the London Spitfire. They're definitely comfortable here, but Sugar Free on this Genji is going to be a huge asset dealing with the Rhine comps. I think Genji is a very, very important hero when it comes to matching up against Rhine, and to have a confident Genji is going to make a big difference in that matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup because I'm kind of waiting for London Spitfire to wake up after last year's playoff kind of like performance. They were so good last year, and now going into this year, not a lot of changes.
The dreams died.
Yeah, it's been a slow start for London, but come on now, like. You learned so much last year. You built on so many things last year. The teamwork, the communication, all these things that London Spitfire really prided themselves on, and we're just like, yeah, like we're a well-coordinated team. Okay, well, should there be a huge skill discrepancy to this year then? I'm waiting for London Spitfire to just wake up and really bring it in some of these matches, and Vancouver Titans, I think, is the perfect opponent for London Spitfire to really kickstart their year and see some more potential from the likes of Sparker.
Can they do it though in the current meta?
Yeah,
like do they have the hero
that, Johnny? But I just think, the power of friendship, it's beautiful, it's fun, but then when you meet raw strength, you just get smashed. And
they were great in the playoffs. Where was Gladiators last year's playoffs?
All right, hold on.
Shanghai Dragons went out early. London Spitfire made it deep because they honestly were a good team with good teamwork and good communication. And maybe they lost to your team or whatever. I can't remember.
Yeah, but
also, that match run, Johnny, it wasn't pretty. It was pretty.
They should be able to beat Vancouver.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Not this season.
London, no, I don't want to say they got lucky, but like in terms of the meta and the way they were able to play and going underneath everyone's radar, I think that really played in their favor. Coming into this season, the opponents know what to expect from London Spitfire because I dare say that their hero pools are it's out on the table. You kind of know what to expect from the London Spitfire, so they can't catch them off guard like they did last season.
I want to see some aggression. Come into this matchup and just like, we're the London Spitfire. We got Backbone, great May player. We got Hadi. Hadi, just do Hadi things. We're the Hadi things, Danny.
I think Admiral as well.
I don't know. Ask Hadi, man. Don't ask me.
On the Lucio, but I'm just worried about the flexibility that Titans have shown. Titans have looked maybe in the middle of the table, but they played a lot of different styles. I think Punk is going to be perfectly happy to come under the Ramatra and like take a brawl mirror with Hadi. I think they're going to feel really good when Sugar Free's on the Genji and able to really like have free reign in the backline, which often happens when you're playing a Rhine comp. You really don't have a hero that deals with Genji. You just kind of eat them up with a Nano Blade. So I'm a little worried, honestly. I think there's too many ults you need the beat for in the current meta. So like Ramatra ult, we've got Nano Blade, all these, and the enemy beat, all these things that can come out, and then you really need a response from the supports, and you kind of only have beats. So it's going to be really tough, especially for Admiral. He's going to have to charge the beats very fast and use them very effectively, I think, to win the series.
And I think this is the beauty of the current meta, right? Because everything is so map dependent, you do have to be flexible. You need the flexibility on your team to really be on top of the crowd. We're seeing that from Atlanta Reign. They can play it all on such a high level. And that's kind of what we need to see from the team. And just because of that, I had to go with the Vancouver Titans. They showed us different look, and they did look very competent on each of them. Whereas from London Spitfire, haven't seen enough.
I think Vancouver is just gonna beat them with power. Is this how you say it?
Power.
Yeah, power. Raw strength.
Raw strength.
The power of friendship is nothing.
It's nothing.
No, I love to see, especially a team like the Titans come together. I think Sugar Free is a player I had my eyes on for a while. To see him in the league, to see him coming into huge success, especially in that last match against Boston Uprising, we got just a taste of what Vancouver's capable of. And, as opposed to the opposition, London Spitfire, their last outing, it wasn't looking too good. I mean, it's okay, but there were serious issues, right? And the only time they looked really together was on this kind of one-off Rhine comp that I don't know if you're going to be able to make work on every map. And in fact, I think pretty sure you can't make that work.
I mean, Ramatra makes it harder because Ramatra is an option to navigate around the Rhino composition. I got Vancouver Titans as well, but I really miss the underdog London Spitfire that like tweets at me and is just like, haha, you were wrong with your friend. Haha, London Spitfire supremacy. Hadi, Roll Star, I miss that London Spitfire. I don't feel like we've gotten it this year, and I had higher hopes for them going into this season.
I can tell. If we're looking at the scores there, you're giving the London Spitfire 2 maps.
Come on.
It's going to be a close one.
Yeah, bring us a close match. Come on, London. We deserve this.
I do want to see more out of London. That's fair. Although I just don't think we're going to get it.
Probably not.
That's what you want. That's not necessarily what you get. We'll find out in just a second as the game, of course, is about to happen. Jonathan, counting on friendship, the raw force of friendship.
Aggression, German strength from Hadi. Just
Aggressive German strength from Hardy. That's
Genji. I think Genji gonna chop, chop, chop. Cut your head off. Eat you
right
up.
on. Well, let's see. What do the gentlemen over on that corner think of our Preds here? Any friendship enthusiasts?
Well, it is.
Not you, Cuss, I know that.
Oh my!
Oh, she's back. Guys,
Good defense, Joey. I'm really glad you're
Get
back.
down, Scott. Get down. Take cover.
How'd Blood getting beat down every single time so he's in the studio? Like, what is happening?
I hold grudges.
I'm just not going to speak anymore.
I was gonna say, it is someone's birthday today. It is Sky Ripper's birthday today.
I thought it's Cuss's
No,
birthday.
Scott,
For a second, I felt really bad.
You would have felt so bad.
Terrible.
Also, happy birthday, of course.
Sky Ripper's birthday today. He's playing against his old team too, so you know, birthday
Revenge
power and the
attempt.
power of friendship.
Yeah. I don't think that really helps against the raw power that Jake has been trying to sell us on for so long. Honestly, I have to agree with the desk. The Vancouver Titans look to be the stronger team.
So good. Yeah, they do. They just 3-0 Boston Uprising as well, which we talked about in the last match. Like, the team just looks like a well-oiled machine right now. And what we saw in that Boston versus Vancouver game the other day was one of the greatest Widow duels I think we've seen in maybe forever in the history of the Overwatch League. That's maybe a stretch.
It's a bit cool that you're saying that.
It is. But Aspire and Birdring playing a Widowmaker that is just explosive. Normally you see one Widow just go off and you're like, wow, that's sick. Like, oh my, they are hitting nut shots. But that was Aspire too. Both of them were just hitting it out of the park. It really felt like a 4-on-4 and then a 1-on-1 with Birdring and Aspire just going off. If Aspire can hit that same peak, that same level of energy coming in, this might be kind of a roll, but it's whether you can kind of recreate that. Although, looking at the map pool too, a couple of these maps not really to do with Widow. I mean, maybe you can play Widow here, but it's a big old stretch. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. And Vancouver Titans also looking at mid-season, Scott. If they do win here, having a 3-2 scoreline, not too shabby getting into mid-season.
Yeah, absolutely. And Titans would be happy with getting a 3-2 at this point, just giving themselves an opportunity to get into that mid-season madness tournament, while London Spitfire fighting not just to stay in the mid-season madness, but trying to keep their sort of season going, because if you start 1-4, it's a difficult hole to climb out of. And, you know, exactly as Johnny and Jake were sort of talking about, the power of friendship was a strong factor for them last year, but also the meta was going in their favor. And potentially, maybe we need to start looking at, is the playoff performance from London Spitfire last year the anomaly? Opposite of the rule. Wait, what happened in chat?
Can we reset?
Wait, I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
Why? All right, okay. I think Hattie do be trolling a little bit. I think he was trolling to try and force Vancouver Titans.
Mental warfare at a new level.
What? Well, Apple dies anyway. I've got to say that is the sneakiest mind games of all time. I think Sugar Free might just clear here, though. The teleport onto the point, pretty smart. Titans look a little bit confused as, well, the Spitfire were just looking to TP double onto the point. One out of spawn, one to there. And they do end up capping first. And bunker style versus this poke. Scott with Sugar Free on the Echo and Faith on.
Sugar Free's doing so much damage, it's just not enough to take anyone down.
TP, bro.
Yeah, the TP on side to side, just going back and forth, making sure you stay alive, and that's getting percentage points up, Jack. They're at 32% and counting.
Don't die to Sugar Free challenge.
It's difficult.
Damage boost can do a lot. Sticky bombs can one-shot. Got to be careful.
Ultimate's coming up for both sides now. As you can already see Landon drop the amplification matrix.
Here comes the Nano, though.
The lamp.
Yeah, Punk nanoed in onto the point, trying to isolate, but no, Hardy actually isolates him. Punk charged all the way off the point as Hardy just be swinging. Punk didn't even earn Primal Rage there, so it's going to take a little bit of time to actually get back to the point. Hardy, however, has isolated himself as Punk puts himself on point. Very low HP, so actually has to back off. Blizzard now from Backbone. All the tools in the London Spitfire arsenal to try and stop Titans from getting onto this point. In fact, Titans using every ult too. They use the Valk, they use the Primal. Hardy does get slept, but a sound barrier from the Spitfire to keep them alive.
Johnny asking Hardy to do Hardy things, and Hardy took that personally. He pins off the nano-boosted Winston, completely invalidates that ultimate, and then when he's coming back, actually pins Aspire on the Ashe. I don't even know how he managed to do that, but coming in clutch, and he's holding onto that Earth Shatter,
Fast fight.
and they only need to win one more fight.
Yeah, 10% away. Landon goes down.
Oh,
Big
bad.
pick from Aspire. Also pretty low. Okay, here it is. All right, that's what you needed to pick onto Landon, stop him healing up the rest of the team. Hardy is not going to find a pin. Might just, in fact, throw himself off the map. Yeah, okay. Quick resets here. They've got 99%. You don't want to give extra ult charge over, and that'll be that. We'll see if they can actually get onto the point this time, though, because that comp, very good at holding down the point. Getting onto the point versus this poke, rough.
Yeah, if you're the Vancouver Titans, you don't want to allow them to walk through this mega health pack room and teleport exactly like they did in the very first point. Because if you allow them to do that, then it's hard to fight for them on the point. We also have Sparker with this wall that they're sort of having a look at. You can see they use the teleport as a bait, then use the wall to get onto the point.
Aspire's low Scott too. Bob actually gets blocked by the wall. Both walls, in fact. Yeah, Backbone created one as well. Bob is just infinitely firing into it now and actually ends up going down. Shatter from Hardy lands on one. It is Punk, and he gets charged off the map. See you later. Crimzo actually gets the sleep dart kill onto Hardy, so a bit of free ult charge for him there, but London Spitfire do control. Very lacking in healing though, as Landon went down again, but a beautiful boot from Admiral kills Crimzo. A resurrection from Faith might be good to get one back in the fight, but it's only them two left. The London Spitfire playing their own game and playing it perfectly. 100-31 as they take round one.
That's the London Spitfire special right there, and Jake said he wants to see them lean into their strengths, play the Symmetra, enable Hardy to play the Reinhardt. That's what you expect from this team. This is really their bread and butter. The real question becomes, though, that's the only round on Ilios that you can really play Reinhardt. On Ruins and this upcoming well map, it's a lot harder to play the Reinhardt, a lot harder to teleport your team around and just anchor on the point. That's really been the pain point of the London Spitfire when they've had to play other compositions. It just hasn't looked as clean.
Admiral kind of taking Titans to town there. Didn't even pay for the bus fare. Yeah, very tough. Now you can't play Sim. You cannot play, well, maybe you could play Mei, but what are you walling off? Realistically, not much.
Living in the past now, they're going over to the playoffs meta where they made it so deep, where they went down to Jake's Houston Outlaws. They were strong at this composition, but the question is this composition strong anymore?
Nice nade from Crimzo. You have to disrupt Crimzo in this comp. You cannot let him get free nades off, forcing the Suzu from Landon. You'd much rather use that Suzu. There it is.
Nade.
Boom. Huge nade again. You can't let him live for free. Oh, hello. Did he get back on? He did! He teleported back on. Backbone got booped into the well, but used that TP to get right back onto the point. But you can't let Crimzo sit here for free. There's no way. He is the best Western Ana player in the league. There is no shot. You can't just dive on him. You have to speed, Hardy, Admiral, everybody has to get it onto Crimzo to stop him getting free space.
And you can see Crimzo just waiting and trying to rotate around as soon as they apply any pressure in. And Hardy is just getting absolutely bullied every time he tries to go anywhere. And the London Spitfire are playing way too slow with this composition.
Good nade onto the backline. Didn't force Landon Suzu, or maybe it was on cooldown. Perfect stick. There's the Suzu. Okay, wasn't on cooldown. Very patient with Landon, making sure he saved that for a bigger ability. Stopping Spy's pulse bomb in its tracks, defusing that one fairly easily. Now the juggle begins.
Yeah, you can see Vancouver Titans just waiting for them to step up, drop the EMP and take down Sparker. There is a swap there of the point there for the London Spitfire, Jack.
Yeah, there is. Nano boost onto Punk. They need to find something. However, that B comes through and just in time. Punk has to get out of there or earn himself a Primal Rage. Super low, no jump. There it is. Nano boost aiding with that ultimate charge as Landon TP'd away, but right into the grasp of Punk. Perfect stuff from the tank. And now the Spitfire need to just juggle it some more. They do have a Reaper on the field with a Death Blossom, so it's going to be hard for Titans to play into this one, despite Hardy having that Prime.
That flip was so important. Vancouver Titans, they tried to use their ultimates to win that team fight, but they weren't able to get it, and Punk just, without that Primal Rage, isn't able to stay alive. There is a response with Faith with the sound barrier, but Backbone?
Oh, Punk. No, Backbone gets one. Punk dove in, had no leap to get away. 45% of building for the London Spitfire. They're hunkering down on this point. Not the same style as the previous round, but it's working out wonders.
They're able to play a lot more passive now that they have control of the point in Vancouver Titans. The ball is in their court. Sugar Free is coming up to the EMP. Admiral, no sound barrier to match either. You're getting so much percentage up here, Jack.
Slowly but surely.
Great move.
Good move onto Hardy. So as the insurance policy, that prime, there it is. Spy looking for another pulse bomb. Hard to stick anybody though, Scott, on this comp, the London Spitfire running currently. So worth keeping that in mind. Looks like both backliners, or frontliners, sorry, from the Titans trying to set up for some sort of dive. Admiral's getting hunted down, so 2-man EMP. Admiral does get focused down by Faith there, of all people, as Hardy also falls. A quick collapse onto London Spitfire's backline, as there was no beats for Admiral. And there goes the flip. Spitfire pretty happy with that, though, saving this beat in this situation. Actually worked out for the better. 98% on the board.
I was worried about that EMP. It felt like Admiral was just way too safe hiding in that room, but somehow Faith able to come through and clean that one up. But as you said, Jack, London Spitfire are the ones with the ultimate. Sparker has been such a firecracker here for the London Spitfire, and he has the overclock.
Oh, the getaway, the great escape for Sparker there using that slide, but Punk's got the Primal. Double kill, Nano Primal, and Backbone throws himself down the well. And that'll be another reset. Still, again, you are happy about this. If you're the London Spitfire, you still have double support ultimate with the overclock, and Titans have a whole heap of nothing.
And you can see Titans, they want to go early. They recognize the deficit that they're at with ultimates. You want to force them out early and then disengage because they don't have anything themselves.
Nade only hit Hardy there. Suzu instantly used by Landon to cleanse potentially an anti-nade on himself. Nothing more than that, though.
You can see the Vancouver Titans are trying to play defense. If they get Sparker, that's such a huge
No
pick.
overclock now available. Kitsune Rush on the point, Scott. Overtime coming in. Avril lays down the B, only hits 4. Backbone is lit up with the overhealth. Can he survive long enough, though, to get this Death Blossom? He does. Okay, manages to get out alive as the return beat from the Titans right into the waiting arms of Backbone, though, unleashes the Death Blossom, but it's just getting focused down. Both the DPS from the London Spitfire unable to find anything as Sugar Free's EMP is just too big. Finally, Sparker finds one head to click. It is Aspires, but now London Spitfire lacking Admiral's speed boost and even amp healing to get them through this fight. Luckily, picking off Crimzo might be more than enough they need to secure this round and map.
They need to hold on for Crimzo to get that healing back in the team fight and have that nano boost. Punk cannot fall here.
5% away from that nano boost is Crimzo right now. Overtime ticking so close to the victory of the London Spitfire. Punk manages to get back in time.